Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's already Wednesday, 18th of February 2026, and it's time for the spiritual light. It's 9 p.m. here, so it's our time. And today, as you can see, we do have Rodrigo is not a special guest anymore, but Salud is a special guest. But Rodrigo, as we agreed, like at least once a week, once a month, he's here with us. And today is the day. The topic today it is youth identity and meaning, spiritual guidance in the structured world. So we will focus in what is happening with the youth people, audience from the Spiritism. If you are increasing, decreasing with what we are saying, attract them, don't attract them. So how to stay up to date with the challenge of the new world. With now we have this artificial intelligence screams. We have a lot of things to compete. If you compare to our age, we didn't have all those things, you know. So so we're gonna talk about it today. But first things first, let my friends introduce themselves. Let's start with my friends from France. Bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir, Stevan. Bonsoir, Rodrigo, Celio, and all. Really happy to be here again with all of you. I will not introduce myself. I think you know me already, but it's a very big pleasure to talk about this and to have with us today our dear friend Celio, and also our friend Rodrigo, of course.
Olá, Rodrigo, ¿cómo estás?
Pues muy bien, Esteban. Una alegría estar con vosotros de nuevo. Hoy hablaremos de un tópico muy importante, o sea, cómo llevar y cómo, de alguna forma, poder hacer con que el espiritismo llegue a la juventud, ¿no? En un mundo donde hay tanta seducción material y por las cosas que realmente sabemos que no son del espíritu. Entonces, será una alegría estar con vosotros hoy, como siempre, intentando tocar los corazones, que es lo que importa. Thank you all, and thank you for the invitation once again. It's a pleasure to be here. So the topic today is extremely important, very up to date, as Stevan said. So we need to understand how Spiritism could help the youth to, let's say, to live in the current world with all the material seduction and find meaning, find a way to pass through this experience in a healthy way, spiritually speaking. So thank you so much, and hopefully we can touch your heart. So that's our intention always.
Good. Buenas noches, Celio, ¿cómo estás?
Buenas noches a todos aqui. Muitas graças por la invitação e pela oportunidade de poder aprender com vosotros aqui, compartilhar pouco de experiências. So thank you everybody again for the invitation, for the welcome here, for the opportunity to be able to share with you some and learn from you part of the experience we face with children. I have been, first I started, I'm just going to introduce me quickly because I think I'm new in this forum here. Nobody knows me, but I started in Brazil in spirit centers, being a child, part of the lessons, learning from the Spiritism. And later I became, for 15 years, I was teaching children and young people in Brazil. And then I moved now to Spain. For the last 1 year, I have been working on the Punto de Luz, with Rodrigo, and I'm teaching the youth uh, in terms of spiritism there. So good opportunity for me to serve. Thank you again.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Celio. Thank you for your introduction and welcome to the team. We always eager here for more people to talk to us, divide, to share the idea with us, because here our intention here is not to teach. Our intention is to share ideas. We are far away to teach someone about something. We are more here to give our perspective and hoping, as Rodrigo said, this perspective touch your heart, touch your mind. Some will make sense, some will not make sense, but uh, we are here to give it. Okay, so first things first. Um, as I said in my comment before, uh, and Rodrigo said this very well. Today we have a lot of distractions that keep the teenagers, the children. Let's call children, but when I say children, we're talking about children and teenagers, young people and youth people. So we keep these these newcomers away from the spiritism. Reading a book is boring. Having classes is boring. They need something fast. They need something quick. They need something to call their attention. And this is a challenge for us because none of us had this in our time. We didn't have like I can securely say none of four of us here when we are young we had the internet. So, but now looks like baby already born and knowing how to do this. So, how to deal with that? How those, let's say, old boys here will, old boys and old girls will call this generation, this recent generation attention. It's a challenge for us as well. Yeah, and if you guys who is watching us today know how to do it, please share the magic wand here because we need that. We desperately need that. But something doesn't matter the time will never gonna be outdated, which is the moral loss. Doesn't matter if you do have internet, no internet, connection, not connection, reading or not reading. Moral loss is moral loss. And thanks to Kardec, the Spirit's book, we do have a vast teachings, questions and answers regarding moral laws. The gospel according to Spiritism is bombarded by Jesus' moral laws, moral teachings. So this is not outdated. We just need to understand how to translate it to today's way of communicating it. Simple like that, but very, very challenge to do it. So I said too much. Let's let's give our floor to our musketeers here today. And Charles, allow me to start with you today. Uh, and question I would like to talk to you is, how does Spiritism help youth understand their identity?
It's indeed a good question. Um, Spiritism is, as I always say, spiritualist. Following spiritualist paradigm means we have a soul. Means also this soul is surviving after death and is existing before birth. So, in other words, it is reincarnating. So, when you see the childhood, you have this little baby and so on. Sometimes in it there is a quite old spirit, and sometimes it may be sometimes a little bit misleading, but our identity basically is the sum of all the experiences we had in our past lives. And during childhood, and also by being teenager, this is somehow a little bit, how to say, it's not at the surface, it's not visible. And it's only when teenager and becoming slowly but surely adult that the real personality of the incarnated spirit pops up. So this is, of course, explaining, giving an explanation about the identity. And of course, the education plays also a role, and the society in which we are educated plays also a role. So it's a kind of a combination of these three factors. And the other way that the Spiritist body of knowledge is helping is to explaining us what is the purpose, what is the goal, why do we reincarnate, why are we here on earth, like we four and all you which are looking or listening to us. We are here in this journey, in this incarnation, in order to progress. And what is progressing is our soul. So that is really the purpose of our incarnation and the goal of our life. And this is also giving us, how to say, helping us in finding meaning in our lives. We have difficulties that we need to overcome. We know where these difficulties come from. They come either from difficulties we had in this life or from mistakes we made in the previous life, and that we have to somehow to repair in this life. But this is only temporary, because after overcoming all these trials and difficulties, our soul will progress, and this progress is going towards being always a better person, and also somehow towards happiness. And as you told, all this is absolutely in line with these moral laws that have been taught by Jesus, but that are also universal, because the moral teachings of Jesus are almost the same as the moral teaching coming out of most of the religions here on the earth. So there is something universal in it. And this is also strengthened through the fact that Spiritist body of knowledge teaches us also that the referential for good and evil is harmony or not with the natural laws, or which we can call also with the divine laws. So that is somehow the secret of finding meaning in our life, and also helping us to go on the right way towards happiness.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Rodrigo, your turn, my friend.
Sure.
No, I'm just saying, do you have any comments? Do you want to add something on top of what Charlie said?
Wow.
What's the challenge? What's the view from you from Spain? So what's the things over there is
Well, I
looking?
think Charles have well, difficult to add anything to what Charles said, because that's what's going on. I mean, we have I think we have never felt like today We have never felt before such material seduction. I think it's a combination of many things. So, in the with the social media, the use, especially, but not the use only, because adults as well, but the use are being exposed to a material model of living. So if you go to the social media, Instagram or all the other social medias, so TikTok, so people are constantly, as you said, bombarded with things which are seductive in terms of how to be happy in this material model. I mean, so you get a used person can look at the Instagram, for instance. What they show that beauty is needed to be happy, to be happy. Being rich, drinking alcohol, and showing that you are doing that with a smile on your face. So, and all of these, I think we had this before, but with the social media, this is being like overwhelmingly showed to the youth. And I don't think, as of today, because of all the our culture, and I think the lack of deep responses we had so far to respond to the meaning of life. I mean, all of these together have put our youth in a very delicate and difficult situation. And to get things worse, I think I think the adults of today are not prepared to deal with that, because this has happened very quickly. I mean, all of this progress of social media, AI, especially now, this is progressing very fast. So we were not prepared with that, and of course we see the result of that with a lot of suicides happening in the youth, in the young people, even in children, because um, it comes as well with the easiness of material supply for life. So we are having more time to think about other things that we didn't think before. So we have more food for thought, but then our minds are still not prepared to digest all of that. And the spiritism can bring a support for that. I think we have never felt like today the need to understand that we are much more than our body, than our material living. I think so. And the youth, they need to understand that we can provide that to them with the spiritism, to show them that, hey, you are much more than this. This is just a school. This is just a hospital to cure your the things you have done wrong in the past, and to move forward to repair it. And that's how I think spiritism could bring this pack, this toolkit, to the youth, to the young people, to be to strengthen them, their how can I say, capacity to deal with emptiness. They are feeling empty, because how many people can be how can I say, fitting to the material happiness model shown today in the social media? I mean, you need to be rich, you need to be pretty, you need to be happy all the time, you need to travel all the time, you need to be successful. So how many of the people today, of the society, or in any class, in any age, can reach that level? So, and then people say, oh, if I'm not reaching that model of happiness, if I'm not reaching that level, what's the meaning? What's the purpose of living? So if you don't put the spiritual side of that brought by the spiritism, emptiness creates this vacuum, and then people decide to take their lives off. So I think that's very important. The topic today, I think, spiritism is a very helpful toolkit for what we are facing today, and I think Celio can has also something to say about that, because Celio is doing a very good job with the young people in the Spiritist Center, and I think he's facing a lot of what I'm saying here. Am I right, Celio?
No, you are right, Rodrigo. When we talk about identity, and one of the main challenges that I see for the spiritist centers nowadays, that we have, as you said in the beginning, Stefan, we are not here to teach anybody, right? So if we have to, if the young, they need to understand their identities. They need to feel free, like they have to feel comfortable when they come to the center, that this is a safe zone for them, right? So it's harm free, so they can be somehow outside of the environment that they live with all of these exposure or excitements, impulse, and things like this, and they have and, and they come to an environment that they don't have a ready-made answer, let's say. So they they learn from the principles, as Charlie mentioned, right? We have to help them think, feel, act, but somehow they have to by themselves identify what they have inside their personalities and things like this. And another thing that when you're mentioning that remind me is that the identity is not confined uh, for gender, appearance, popularity. This is what they reach conclusions, right? So it's not achievements or social labels. It's how they're gonna be working for their inner reform and progress. This is what we see as experience there.
Very good.
Great. Very good. Very good. Yeah, it's challenging it. I'd like to say good evening to Sueli Saponara. Thank you for joining us, Sueli. Thank you for watching us. Let me see. Also, we have Rita de Cássia Fernandes. So thank you, Rita, for joining us in this such important topic, such important uh, um, message from us. And Charles, the same question I asked you, Rodrigo, in terms of what the youth people from Spain requires. What the French young people require? Are they different from our fellows friends from Spain, or they have a different demand?
No, I think it's quite similar, and I think it's also a characteristic of what's happening now. Youth are internationalizing. So even in some distant countries like Brazil, where traditionally in the Spiritist groups you had movements or activities, you had a lot of young people. Today it's reducing a little bit. And why? Exactly because, how to say, what worked a few years, maybe a couple of decades ago, does not work anymore like today. And this is where I think we have a lot to learn one from the other. What is really helping and talking and giving meaning or motivating the young people to listen and to think about, because Rodrigo said it. I mean, this social media is something terrific. When we really try to analyze what's happening there, what is the rule of the game? It's amazing what we see. everything is, if you don't pay for the product, it's for free. You are the product. And all what is done, social media platform, basically, they are here to monetize. And monetize what? Based on the attention of the people who are navigating in it, and in particular, the young people. And everything is done on purpose. I mean, you have neurologists, you have people who know exactly the magic of dopamine, if we can say, pleasure, satisfaction, and well-being, how this neurochemistry works in the brain, and to explore this at a maximum possible extent. And this is why it is the young people are becoming so dependent. This is why this seek for satisfaction, or even when something is wrong, the people are looking for the so-called digital lollipops in order to supposedly excite again this dopamine and to feel joy. But at the end, we see that the result long term is the opposite. The people start feeling uncomfortable, alone, scared, and it doesn't work anymore. And why? Because all this is exciting the brain, the matter, not the spirit itself. At the opposite, the spirit who is looking, who is needing for education, who is needing to have values and so on, is submitted to things from people who, at the end, they just want to make money. So it's terrible what's happening. And I'm really seeing now that in Spain, for instance, I think there, or maybe not Spain, Australia, yes, I think Spain as well, social media are restricted or even forbidden for young people with less than 16 years. And it will probably follow very soon in France and probably also in Europe. Then,
Yeah,
of
you
course, you have a lot of people shouting and claiming, saying, hey, this is against freedom and so on. But when we look really, these people, what are they? They want to make money. So they don't care to have freedom like a free fox in a free chicken house, poor chickens. So that is really the reality of what is happening nowadays. And Spiritist body of knowledge, as Rodrigo said it very well, is fostering the attention to the soul and not only to this hormonal stuff and physical wealth and so on, because money or dopamine does not bring happiness, evolution, and happiness of the soul. And this is what is most important. All the material stuff, whatever it is, even our physical body, I repeat it also almost at each live, we don't take a single atom of our body the day we will go back to the spiritual world. And also not a single penny of what we had. So basically, we Spiritist body of knowledge is calling us to put the value on what is immortal and not exclusively on what is temporary, and that we will anyhow have to leave one day or the other, sooner or later.
perfect. Perfect, Charles. Thank you. Thank you. Celio, allow me to ask you a question. And since you're dealing with the young children, how can Spiritism support youth mental and emotional health?
Okay. Yeah, in my opinion, right? So what the Spiritist brings to us is that for for the young people mainly is that we are not only biological beings, right? So we are not only living beings navigating social pressures, but we are really immortal spirits as we are talking in a process of moral progression, intellectual evolution. So they start This is what we learn. And so the spiritism integrates the biology side, the psychology side with the spirituality. So brings this element. And it recognizes, in my opinion, that the emotional imbalance that we may have, it's not only because of biology, so has a spiritual component that could be part of it. So through player, moral reflection, we discussed a lot about the young people to be reflecting, studying, self knowledge, right? So they have to develop these things. They can learn that we were having a class last week, in fact, that we are talking about the emotional triggers, right? What 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 triggers our behaviors, and what we're talking, that sometimes we talk a lot about our actions, right? So we have to take care about our actions, and when we are here talking, we have the control of our actions, and the actions that reflect how we are, what we are, what we want to be. This is how we want to be in the future, or how we want to be for the future. But knowing our reactions, the way we react to some emotional trigger, this is showing what we really are. And this is an important source for the young people to know and identify this, keep a mental health, emotional health, in my opinion. So we reflect a lot on the triggers. What makes me change? So if I have a personality, all of us have our own personalities, but our personality is difficult to change. But we have to, because it's a trend that we have. It depends on inner transformation, and so on. But we have to build strong characters. So our character must be stronger than our personalities. Because when we talk about character, we're saying what guides our personality and what keeps us on the right path. So I think this is something that gives them a very strong mental health, emotional health when talking about this.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, Rodrigo, I would say we have we have a moral obligation to perhaps try to communicate with those things, um, by creating some values in which reach them. They are able to talk to us. Um, so I think we need to learn how to build this bridge and support them emotionally and on a mental health as well, because it's a lot of information they are processing on a daily basis compared to us. I don't know, I cannot measure that, but the they are bombarded every single day with a ton of information.
Steven, you should not say they. You should say we.
We
Yes,
We
yes,
are bombarded as well. No?
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. But in certain way, we we can uh, deal with that more or less. But these young guys, they don't know. It's funny because my daughter asking me like today. She said, "Daddy, when you was your young, uh, which 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 app you like to play. You like to play. I said, sorry, we didn't have no internet, no app, no nothing. My app was arrive from school, eat as fast as I can, and go out to play with the guys in the street. That's my app. And they don't know how to do it. I can see clearly the other day, I can use my daughter was on the phone, and I said, hey, give me the phone, go outside and play with your friend. No, that I'm already playing with my friend here. So they're playing with their phones. So one in their house, the other one in their house. So it's it's scary, like it is challenge.
But
Uh, just a second, Rodrigo. So it is saying to us the influences and celebrities are giving the youth a different perspective of life, real values. Influencers, the YouTubers, all those name you want to call it. Yes, you're right, Sueli. They are changing the values in which how many likes you have, how many followers do you have. Rodrigo, sorry, I cut you off. So
no. It's okay. So I was just reflecting a little bit about that because what I was saying is that I would say is that maybe one of the things that it's at least at home, so which I try to avoid because this was creating an abysm between myself and my kids was that so we tend somehow to criticize the way they behave or the way they interact today because it's different from what we had in the past. I think this is a natural progress because if you go to a mediumship meeting, we are talking with spirits, but we are trying to understand virtual things because the spiritual life is a virtual life. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's not material. I think it's a natural progress. It's a natural movement of uh, breaking physical barriers to connect. And this is the good thing, the good side of the technology. I think today, for instance, the young people they can be in touch with their parents, with their grandparents, being overseas, and this is fantastic. I think the technology itself, or talking to our friends through the technology, through the devices, is not a real problem. I think the problem of today is that, and this is for us parents to think about it, or grandparents, or we are grown up to think about it. What we need to do is to give tools for these people to be able to deal with that in with a good mental health. The thing is that we did mention about influencers. That's right, but they exist because we consume what they sell. So they are just selling what is required by us. So the influencers, they are there showing things which are seductive to us. So being beautiful, or essentially what it's bringing, what this the social media is bringing today is extreme exposure to our primitivism, to our selfishness, to our this is I remember the spirits they said to Kardec, I don't remember the question, that sometimes selfishness should reach its limits of exposure in order to create the need to change. I think it should reach its limit of harm in order for us to start looking for something new. I think somehow this is happening with social media as today, because we are exposed, and as Charlie said, so it's not the young people. We are doing that. So because I caught myself many times doing that in Instagram or in some, so because it's very seductive, it's like hypnotizing. So, and we need to put efforts to leave this aside and to search something which is really filling our souls with something meaningful. And I think that's exactly what Spiritism can do it. The work that Celio is doing with the young people in the Spiritist Center is very nice. I collect feedbacks from my kids, from the other people's kids who are with Celio, and they love it because Celio creates this approach of being connected, not judging, because we need to understand, to enter their world in order to understand how they behave, what they are feeling, what they are thinking, how they are thinking, which are the difficulties they are facing, in order to bring Spiritism in doses which they can digest and put in their real life, on their connections with other people. We need to consider that, uh, especially the people or our kids or the young people who are uh, connected to Spiritism, they are moving, they are against the wave much more than we did in the past. I think because it's a mental influence which is more dangerous than before. Before we had material pressure, now we have a mental pressure. So it's dangerous. So we need to prepare them to understand, because Spiritism can bring them the strength to navigate in this world today, and to feel as well the Spiritism message they collect to others around them, not being excluded, because sometimes they can say, I have this experience talking to my kids. I said, hey, did you? And my daughter came today one day and said, hey, Rodrigo, hey, Papa, today I talked about Spiritism with my friends. And I said, oh, yes, and how was it? And she said, oh, it was difficult because I was confronted a lot. So, and then once one of them came to their parents, and their parents said that this is schizophrenia, not mediumship. So, and then and then I explained. So I gave her tools to confront that. They will be confronted. They are against the wave, and if you want them to be strong enough to confront that and to deal with them, are their uncertainties about that, because we'll put the seed, someone outside will be trying to take out that seed, and we need to give them tools to survive in this world, but this should be with meaning. So what Celio does with the kids, Celio has a kind of a circle. I don't know how to say it in English, Celio, but you have, like, can you explain what you have, how you manage the emotions and all the things with the kids?
No, what we have, like, when we prepare the program for the year, we use a cycle that we mentioned, that it's like a 40 stages, right? That when we teach the young people. So they go through a cycle of first of friendship, where they know each other and they have a self learning about themselves. So this is when, so The second side is about heart, so they have to feel and love, right? So the third cycle is related with rational faith, so this makes them think, and the last one is about the being a Christian in the world, so they act. So imagine that every class, when we prepare, we do like a checklist. So is this class bringing for them something new that they are learning? Do they leave this class with something that they are feeling different and better, right? So what we teach, and this is from the Spiritist, right? So that uh, Jesus didn't want to make that we all were perfect. What the message is that we have to be better every day, right? We have to be better than yesterday and so on. We don't need to be perfect. So when you give clues for them about these things, make them feel comfortable. They have to think, right? So they feel, they learn, then they think, because okay, I'm gonna reflect now. And the most important thing, as Rodrigo was saying, I'm glad to hear that when you mentioned, for instance, that your daughter starts talking about the spirits, because that's the last stage. So when they leave the class, not only reflecting but putting in action, right? So this is the cycle that we try to cover every time. And when you say about social media, social exposure, I would say that it's not negative. The problem is it has to be consumed with moderation. Right? It has to have some limit, because it's not bad. And what we try to do in the Spirit Center is not sell you, right? So this is the methodology that the youth uh, is implementing in the world, right? I'm just doing this job in one of the centers, but thousands of people do this worldwide. Uh, is exactly this to okay, we won't compete with the social media, but we're gonna bring another one. And we're gonna bring another approach for them to understand, and they are gonna be reflecting. Okay, so this social media, what brings to me? Is this bringing me more values? Is this making me progress? Will this benefit for me in my future plans? We talk about the future, what they want to be in the future, and we filter, okay, what are the behaviors that will make you be there? What are the ones you have to solve it? So I think this is part of what we have to be working with them.
Perfect.
That's very good.
Love it. Love it. Yes. So, my friends, uh, we only have 10 minutes already. And in my mind, I didn't cover like one third of what I want to cover. But like we can repeat this conversation probably in March, like part two, and because this is important topic, and I have the feeling we can explore more about it. Um, so in this 10 minutes left, what's your final message? Let's start with our guest today, Celio, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, I would say that if there's one message that spiritists can offer to young people, to the young people, and for us parents, people who work with them, is that they are. When you talk to young people, you say you are more than this moment. Right? Don't think you are only this moment that you are living now. Right? You are not defined by your mistakes, by your social status, how you are seen by your colleagues. You don't need validation Uh, we all face temporary struggles. We all have our emotional triggers. And again, what we have to teach or discuss with them is that, okay, we are immortal spirit in a progress, as I mentioned before, right? So we are not perfect, but we need to be better today than the last week, and so on. So just Jesus didn't speak to us as individual, perfect beings, right? We are evolving souls, and I think this is the clear message that we are trying to give to the young people now. uh, and the spiritists help them to understand that every effort they do toward being a better person, being kind, feeling, having better feelings, being a good person, this is it's a effort that it's not wasted. So, and when they understand that we have the reincarnation, we are progressing. I'm facing difficulties maybe because of my past experience, and I'm becoming better. So I this is the most important thing. It's very nice to be working with them, and in fact, I learn a lot from them every week. We are moving to a planet in regeneration, right? And the young people, they are behind this. They come here to challenge ourselves, right? So we have to impose some limits to, for them, right? We have to bring discipline. And I think this is the final message I could give. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, talking to you and listening and learning from you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Rodrigo, my friend.
Wow. I think Celio said everything. One final word for the young people who are listening to us. Don't blame yourself too much, because in this world, so the young people, they are so much demanded by the society today. So uh, look at yourself and do what Celio said. So you don't need to be perfect. You need to improve every day and do something to be better every day. And this will be good as well for your own happiness. So don't blame yourself. Use the mistakes to grow, because this is what makes us, develop and evolve. So society is bringing a lot of models for you to fit in. Don't do that. You know, look at yourself and do what you think is good for you. Just look at it and study Spiritism. This will bring you a lot of tools to do this journey safely. That's my final message.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you both. Charles, my friend.
Yeah, indeed. I think we have quite a good and exhaustive, comprehensive approach of these problematics. But again, I think Celio and Rodrigo told it. These people who want to earn money, who want to monetize this thing, are seducing, making seduction. So making seduction is for sure it will end up in deceptions, and trying to make us consume something which is superfluous, that we don't need, pushing us away from the right focus, which is the evolution of our soul, which is not looking for joy and happiness with the material stuff, because this is useless. It doesn't work. Huh? So this is exactly, I mean, the message of the Spiritist body of knowledge, to educate us, to make us understand the purpose of life. Uh, Spiritist body of knowledge does not monetize anything. Everything is non-profit and for free. So it's totally at the opposite of what we can see of all these monetary interests which are even hidden. For Spiritist body of knowledge, it's very clear. Everything is for free. Nobody is paying to have a session with Celio, with Rodrigo, whoever. We give for free what we receive for free. And again, develop your intelligence, your knowledge, the discernment. And okay, we can also say social media can also be used for good things, not only for bad things or for making money. And this is really what we have to focus on. I must admit, I'm not young anymore. I'm an old child, let's say so. And it took me a long time to accept to enter in this social media. But at the end, I accepted to enter. So first, I can see really this rule of the game. So with being aware of what is behind all this, staying very strong on the principles and looking how and using it as far as possible for the good things. I'm really dreaming of finding a good influencer, but which is spreading the Spiritist knowledge or moral values. And this is really something that we still also have to find or maybe to develop. Who knows?
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Also, thank you, Juana and the Reality Home, for your comments, for watching us. It's very good to have you here. Also, Leonardo, Bacarin, Pedro. So thank you for stay with us here. So we are agreed. I will talk to everyone offline, and we set a date in March to keep this conversation in part number 2. And hopefully Elsa gonna be with us. She's gonna give us perspective from UK as well. Okay, so let me go through the announcements. Let me share my screen here, and I also hope Silvia gonna join us. So it's gonna be amazing to have her viewpoint here. So our announcements. So next week we will have Julio Carvalho with us, and the topic is work, vocation, and the Spirit's mission. Very good topic as well. I'm eager to talk to Julio and see how is his approach. So 25th of February at 9 p.m. London time. Also, our friend Florence Anton is coming to UK from 26th of February until 9th of March. So you can find the timetable in the bus and all the Spiritist society. He goes to Solidarity, Fraternity, so in Brettonwood Spiritist Center. So it's a huge event, and our lovely Silvia will translate him as usual. Talking about youth, don't miss, because on the 28th of March, Breno Malucelli, he's from Denmark. He's a youth from Denmark. So he's very engaged with our gathering group, and he gonna give a talk, and the topic is engaging young people in Spiritist activities. So this is in English, so it's a very good event for us to listen from them what they want to listen, what they want to approach, or what they want to do. So this is a good value. I think you like it. Also, then the 34th the anniversary of the fraternity anniversary, we do have special guests. Lourenço Anton, Altino Majest, Charles, so a lot of people here with fraternity anniversary. So every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. we do have the Mediums book study. Everybody's more than welcome. Just scan the QR code and you have the group details. Also, our group led by Fabrizio, Joana Diana's study group, we will have on Sunday Dr. Anaí Fonseca. So it's important event throughout the studies of Joana de Angelis. It's very good. Every Wednesday, 12 at noon, we do have the Genesis book study group. More information, please contact the number on your screen. And save the date between 18 and 20 of September. We are going to be in Vegemont in Belgium. And there we're going to have three amazing events. One is the first European Spirits Gathering. The second is the Kids Gathering. And the second is like, I would not say old gathering, but like the more experienced group gathering. I'll say that. So, and it's the subscription is still on. So I love to have you there. Please keep reading Spiritist Magazine. Thank you to Buzz, Irish Spiritist Federation, the Movement Spiritist Francophonic, and today, Punto de Luz, to give us Rodrigo and Célio. Please keep listening Cardiac Radio. So, thank you all for your help, for your message today. And I will see this team again in March. And Charles, I'll see you next week with our friend Julio. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice evening. Bye bye. Thank you.
God bless.
Bye bye.
Bless you. Bye.
Bless you.